Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to welcome you back to yet another episode of our Leicester City career mode here on FIFA 16. Today we've got of course another 3 games for you today in a range of different competitions actually. It's our last game in the Champions League today. We're already out of the group stages unfortunately, but we can still qualify for the Europa League. So we'll be playing Spartak Moscow in our final group stage match. Then we've got Aston Villa in the BPL and then Watford in the league. Now if you do go on to enjoy the video, feel free to hit the likes button, that would be massively appreciated. And go and check out the playlist as well if you haven't seen videos before now. But of course, player of the episode, you guys voted. Last time it was down to a 1 vote, but you guys chose N'Golo Kante as your player of the episode. So he will be the player that plays in every single game of today's episode, starting with Spartak Moscow in the Champions League. As you can see, confirmation we're 4 points behind second place Spartak Moscow going into the final game, confirming that we cannot progress in the Champions League. But if we do win and PSV lose, we can actually still qualify for the Europa League in 3rd place. We've gone for quite a young side. At the end of the day, we do have to focus on the league because we're doing the best in that. We're winning the league at the moment, so we've got to focus on that and play our best team perhaps for the Aston Villa game. But the first chance of the game, they're falling to Francois Camano from the free kick and a wonderful save from Pezyakov. And the youngsters already doing a pretty good job. Luka Zahovic seeing Mikhail Vestergaard actually bursting through in some space. He's cut back there and he's found N'Golo Kante, the last player of the episode. And the last player of the episode, Kante, has scored and made it 1-0. And the one man in this squad that's got any sort of experience, realistically. A lot of youth players playing in this, the likes of Riex, Jonsson, Vestergaard, who of course set that up. But the captain for today, N'Golo Kante, does give us the lead. And Vestergaard almost doubling our lead with a very much deflected strike. A massive deflection on that one. Now Frederick Riex, one of our other youth players, bursting through on goal. But he's a defensive mid, and finishing is not his strong point, and he hits the post. We are dominating this game, however. Now Mikhail Vestergaard is on a wonderful run. Can he finish off this incredible run? No, he cannot. He hits the side netting, and the 66 overall young Danish striker there, almost scoring an absolute beauty of a goal. He's been found again by Zahovic in a similar position to what led to the goal. This time he takes it alone, but we hit the woodwork again. And after 3 gilt-edge opportunities in this game, Spartak Moscow are now starting to come back into it there. Gudinho, who's in goal for today, having to tip it wide, or tip it over the bar. Now into the second half, Frederick Riex in on goal again, and Riex, who's been incredible in this game. Really talented youngster with high potential, but he's missed again. Now we have been offered the sucker punch. We've been so unclinical in front of goal, and Spartak Moscow have punished us. The youngsters, they've been fantastic. They've played incredibly. Riex, Jonsson, Vestergaard, they've all been fantastic to use in this game, but they've been so unclinical, especially, of course, Riex and Vestergaard. And now Spartak Moscow are level. Quincy Promes actually there with a chance to put them in front, but he blazes it over the bar with the volley. Now, though, however, making a substitution, Patrick Herman, the more experienced winger, is coming on for Francois Camano, who hasn't had the greatest of games in this one. Ravel Story is also on for the quite tired Frederick Riex. And Kante, though, finding Herman on the wing for his first action in the game, and he's found Jamie Vardy in the area, and Jamie Vardy has scored to give us the lead back with 8 minutes to go. Vardy, I think, has just come on as well for Luka Zahovic, who was quite tired, and the experience counts in the end. Patrick Herman finds Jamie Vardy, and we win the game 2-1. We go out of the Champions League, but we go out fighting at the end of the day. N'Golo Kante there, the player of the episode, getting the goal scoring starting. Mikhail Vestergaard gets man of the match, but in reality, it was actually the likes of Jonsson and Riex who really impressed me, and I might have to start using them a little bit more regularly. They did the simple things well. They did the simple things very well and very efficiently, better than some of the more senior players have been doing. You're seeing some of their highlights in the background sort of jumbled together, and especially Lasse Jonsson, he was fantastic. I think, in my opinion, he was my man of the match. He literally did everything that was asked of him and then a little bit more. He was absolutely brilliant in the game and showed some decent pace as well, and also a bit of dribbling ability there as well in winning the ball back. So him and Riex were very impressive. Unfortunately for us, PSV actually beat Roma in that game, so we still don't progress even to the Europa League. But in the background, as you can see, we still get some prize money, 8.6 million or thereabouts from the board. But we are not progressing any further in Europe either. And despite picking up, what, 7 points, I think, in our group. We don't even get into the Europa League. Absolutely astonishing scenes. Nevertheless, in the background, you can see we're now moving into our second game of today's episode. A much more senior side for this one because we're playing in the BPL. And at this point in time, the Barclays Premier League is far more important than anything else because we're doing far better in that than anything else. Including the likes of Europe. You'll have seen the squad there in the background. It's now time to try and get a win here, having taken the lead from Chelsea last episode. Paulo Dybala with the first chance, but he blazes it over the bar after just 2.5 minutes. Now Sisto finding Dybala in a completely similar situation, and Dybala misses the target again. And this guy, Paulo Dybala, we signed him for £30 million, and he just hasn't really been doing the job. He hasn't scored there either, but that's due to a wonderful save from the Villa goalkeeper. Paulo Dybala could literally have a hat-trick by now, and he could have had an assist there as Kante went for the spectacular scissor kick effort. And unfortunately for him, it goes just wide. Now into the second half, Embolo forcing a save out of Bun, and yet again, we are well on top in this game, but we are very unclinical. Kante has now found Pione Sisto in all sorts of space, and Sisto has not scored either. He's hit the post. He should have scored. That was a gilt-edge opportunity. Now into the 69th minute, Paulo Dybala's got his fourth clear-cut chance of the game, and this time he's scored. N'Golo Kante with the assist. And he's proving that he could actually be player of the episode for this episode as well. He's got a goal and an assist now as well. Paulo Dybala finally scores, having missed 3 fantastic opportunities earlier. Finally, we take the lead thanks to Dybala. Danny Drinkwater off the bench, almost scoring literally with his first touch of the game. That would have been absolutely stunning. But now we're trying to hold on. Villa are going forward. They're pressurising, trying to get the draw in this game. It's been headed clear by Rudiger, only as far as Vera 2. And now it's found Jack Grealish. And after dominating the entire game, we have been offered the sucker punch, the suckerest of punches from Villa. That makes no sense, but still a rather large sucker punch from Jack Grealish and Aston Villa. And due to our lack of clinicality, if that's a word, due to our lack of clinical finishing, especially from Dybala, we have not won this game, and it's an absolute nightmare. We should have won that game by an absolute distance. Unfortunately, we do not, and it's only a point. Hopefully for us, Chelsea also drop some points as well. So man of the match there for N'Golo Kante yet again. Good ratings as well, though, there for Riyad Mahrez and Maxi Arnold, so perhaps those guys people to consider, as well as some of the youngsters perhaps, in the player of the episode vote at the end of this episode. In the background, you can see us training the likes of Kamano, Tarajai, Zahovic and Riyad Mahrez, and today I'll be asking you who you want me to train because I actually forgot to do the vote last time, which of course isn't really ideal. But in the background, you're now seeing the players that have the promising player tag. That means they'll grow quicker in training, I think, and also means they grow quicker every month as well. So perhaps they're the people to target. Those guys will be included in the vote as well, the people who have the promising player tag. There'll also, however, be some players that don't have that, the likes of Mahrez, Arnold and stuff, the usual, but then also mainly the players who have the promising player tag. That was requested in the last episode and a few episodes before that as well. Nevertheless, though, it is now time for the final game of today's episode, and it is in the Capital One Cup quarterfinals against Watford. Yet again, playing a slightly younger and inexperienced side, the likes of Nikolai Boyleson, Moore, Karlgren, Ling, and also Zahovic coming into the side as well, because again, we're focusing on the league at this point. We've got a lot of fixture congestion, but Watford actually getting the first chance of the game there thanks to Miguel Layun, who's clearly back from his loan at Porto, but he heads the ball just wide of the post. But as you can see, Lucas Zahovic now clean through on goal, and Marcelo Grohe in the Watford net, making a very good save indeed. And now look at this, a scramble in the area. Loris Karius failing to deal with it. And that is, I mean, it's down to poor goalkeeping. It's been converted by Veli Kavlak, but Loris Karius literally just palming the ball down into a dangerous position. Boyleson is unable to clear it because it's blocked by Troy Deeney. It falls to Veli Kavlak, and we're 1-0 down again. As you can see, Luka Zahovic coming through again. He's got through 2 challenges, but again, Marcelo Grohe in the Watford net denies him. Is this unclinical finishing coming into play again? Marcus Karlgren has now seen Jamie Vardy clean through on goal, and Vardy hits the post. And today is just not our day for clinical finishing. We've been on top in all 3 games, but again we can't finish. Now Zahovic getting lucky, finding N'Golo Kante, and finally we do score in this game, and again it is Kante to score the goal. This guy, he's the player of the episode from last episode, and he's basically, I mean, he's got an assist and he scored 2 goals in this episode from defensive midfield. I mean, there's not really much more you can say. I mean, he might be the first player to retain the title at this rate, and we now are level at 1-1. Someone sliding in, that was Herman, but a great save again from Marcelo Grohe. It falls to Lasseling. He's got a 1-2 there between himself and Perez, and he forces another save. We're well on top in this game now as we approach the hour mark. From the resulting corner, Herman will swing it in. It's onto the head of Lasseling. It's deflected and it's gone in. Lasseling, who made it happen in the first place by winning the corner with that beautiful link-up play between himself and Bruno Perez. He's made the goal happen as well. It's come off the head of Sebastian Prödl and it's gone straight into the other corner. How on earth the Austrian defender has not cleared that is beyond me. But Lasseling doing his job, and I'm going to credit that to him because it was going in anyway. Troy Deeney, though, putting a cross in for Niom, Alan Niom, and what a crucial block that was from Christian Fuchs. Absolutely incredible defending. Now we got some link-up play between Jamie Vardy and Kenneth Kronberg. Again, a save from Grohe, who's been incredible in this game. And whenever we played Watford, in all honesty, he's been man of the match. We might have to look into looking at him. I don't know, he's a great goalkeeper. But in the end, we do win the game. Riex, you can see there, he came off the bench to replace Kante and actually got a great rating off the bench, 7.2. Further proving why he's one of our most promising young players. Kante, they're getting a good rating, as well as Lasseling and also Luka Zahovic as well. So he's perhaps someone that we have to consider for player of the episode. In the background, though, after winning that game 2-1 against Watford, we're now into the semi-finals of the Capital One Cup after that goal from Lasseling. It was going in anyway. But Fukurata Mazuaku in the background there saying that he's not happy about his role at the club. He should be playing more, and I agree with him in all honesty. The likes of Fuchs and Ben Chilwell are getting quite a lot of game time at the moment instead of him. But he's not really impressed me so far this season, so we'll have to see about his future. Anyway, now moving on to player of the episode. And you've got 4 choices today as opposed to 3. Last time it was all Leicester originals. This time we've got 2 youngsters and 2 other players, or more senior players as well. The first 2 options are Lasse Jonsson. Jonsson was by far man of the match in that first game in the Champions League, so we got him for player of the episode, as well as his fellow youngster Frederick Riex, who was very impressive when he came off the bench against Watford. We didn't see too much of him, but he did get a 7.2 off the bench, which is very impressive ratings-wise. And of course, despite missing those big opportunities in the Spartak Moscow game, he was very impressive in that one as well. After that, though, the senior players, we've got, of course, N'Golo Kante, who was the player of the episode from last episode. He's trying to retain his title. He scored 2 goals and got an assist here today as well. And then after that, finally, we've got Jamie Vardy, who won us the game against Spartak Moscow off the bench with that header. So you can vote for those guys in the straw poll in the description, and whoever wins that straw poll will play every single game next episode. In the background, you can see the table. Thankfully for us, Chelsea also drew, so we maintain our 2-point lead over them that we had from last episode, and we are still top of the Barclays Premier League table, with Stoke still at the bottom. But I hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Leicester Career Mode. Hit the likes button if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you're new around here as well. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @theofficialfng, and you can comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. Don't forget to vote on the training straw poll and also the player of the episode straw poll. But nevertheless, it has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye. No.